Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to IRL Season 10 F1 tier, round number 4 at Hungary. I am your commentator, Aaron Leon, and I am joined in the booth by my legendary teammate, Mr. Paco Suarez. And Paco, how are you today?
Well, as always, really excited to see F1 racing in here. I mean, Hungary is not a track that maybe provides, that good racing that other tracks might provide. But I think it's still a really good track that we're going to enjoy. And hopefully, someone else rather than Matthew will take the win today.
Well, we have heard some promising news that Lewis has actually managed to get a bit of pace. But, as always, though, Matthew, sandbags in his practice sessions and then pulls out a banger in the race. So, we have to watch out for Matthew and his dominant form as he is. And my fire alarm is going off in the background. But Matthew right now then is the first one on an outlap. So Paco, if you want to take the four-time champion when he's about to start his lap.
Yeah, I'll do. Well, I mean, here we can see the Alfa Romeo from Matthew. This driver has been quite dominant during the whole season. He has had no talent at all, I would say. I mean, maybe in Australia, Luis was able to be up there and keep up with the Alfa Romeo, well, with his teammate actually. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does here. As we can see, Matthew backing off a little bit. He's about to turn it into the final corner, trying to get a really good exit to have as much speed as he can. As he crosses the line and he starts his flying lap right now. Gets into the first corner, goes down to second, and you don't have to really upshift to fourth, just going up third without hurrying up on the gears. Here you upshift to fourth. Really good exit by Matthew, going over the curbs and really gaining time here. Let's see what the first sector is. 26.1, not a bad first sector. As he goes through turn 6, I believe this is, but don't kill me if I get it wrong. This chicane, really difficult to get it right. You can easily lose the back end at the exit, and I would say this is probably the most technical part of the track. If you miss one of those corners, you're gonna get the whole lap wrong. As we can see, Alfie letting Matthew by. At the moment, really smooth lap by Matthew. I haven't seen that many mistakes, so it could be quite a competitive lap here. Final corner goes up to fifth, really good exit by the English driver, and he sets a 1:12.8, and that's quite solid.
Yeah, already picking up the pace already. 12.8 there, looks decent lap time, and it looks like hard to beat for some of these guys. So let's have a look on the next driver come down the straight, and it is his teammate, Mr. Lewis Curtis. He goes and does a 13 flat, so Lewis, on his first attempt, on his banker probably, 13 flat there, 2/10, separating the both Alfa Romeo drivers who are looking dominant in the constructors right now, as there's a bit of lag there. Hopefully that does fix itself as the Mercedes going slowly off Edward there.
I mean, right now we can see that Luis on his first attempt hasn't been quite far. As we can see, Nino setting almost at the same time as Fletty, so quite close. And Rocco goes up to third.
Actually, Paco, sorry to cut you off. Actually, he didn't set a similar time to Fletty. He's actually a second off. He did 14.7.
Yeah, sorry, I'm blind. I mean, don't take me this into account, okay? I haven't slept.
God, Sondre, yeah, sorry, it's understandable. Sondre, who also hasn't slept today, he almost went into the barrier in the Renault, so he's setting a sand back in time, and he's going to set a 15.6. Now, maybe in the FP cars you would set that, but not in equal. Hopefully he can get the act together in the Renault, as he's the only Renault today since his teammate cannot make it, which is a shame.
Not even in FP, Jared. Sondre in FP was able to set a 14.5 with the Ferrari, so yeah, I believe he's gonna be capable to do more than that, really.
I hope so, as we're going on board with Edward right now, the other Mercedes driver with Brand this season. Good team up, to be honest. They've had a decent, solid form of races, but not as solid as the Alfa Romeo team. As Edward then takes the final corner and starts his flying lap then down the straight then. He's going to get a little bit of tour there of Brand's slipstream. Coming into turn 1, needs to get it nice and tight there. He's in second, up to third. Doesn't short shift to fourth though, as he's now coming into turn 2 now. Takes the tight spot to go to second there, up to fourth. Nice and tidy on the entry and exit. Now this is a very tricky corner coming up here, Paco. We've seen a lot of spins in the past. Will Edward spin it? And no, he invalidates, so that is a shame there for him. If you want to go on board with Brand, since he's on a lap, Paco.
Alright, we can see Brand trying to have the lap. I don't know if he got blocked by Luis Bassman. That was quite close, I have to say. But he continues his lap, goes through corner number 10, I would say. 52.2, which is not a bad second sector at all. As he goes through the final corners right now, going down to second, steady exit, and oh, that was a bit what a reaction of the car as he goes through the final corner. Really important the exit here as he gets a 13.4, and that's enough to be third. So just in front of Rocco Walsh, which he's in no line. We have to remember that, although we're doing a restream. So yeah, good lap by Brandon Glover.
Yeah, good lap indeed, and we'll go on board with Luis Bassman right now, the former F2 champion last season. As I said, he's been up to the top tier, I've said it before. He's had some good results. Same with Kevin, you know, the rest of the point team have had a lot of luck and a lot of good performances, and hopefully they can get more good performances. Luis Bassman last Wednesday, which has just been an FP, unfortunately did DNF on lap 1, and it was a shame, so hopefully that doesn't happen to him today, as he takes those couple of corners that are nice and tight now. Into the chicane he's going. Let's see what gear goes into third. A bit of a lock up the fourth now. And hits the exit curb, and as you said, Paco,
Alfie takes third with the 1:13.3. So on his debut, no, actually not on his debut. My bad, Lordy is the one making his debut. But I believe in his third race, he has been able to take third, well, provisional third. So good luck by the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, good luck indeed, and especially now with the pace as well. You know, it's quite close up there. As Luis Bassman that invalidates, and that's unfortunate for him, as we go on board with Santerre Martinez is also invalidated.
Yeah, so at the moment I don't see anyone on an actual lap. Unless Matthew just started one. So yeah, we could go on board with the Alfa Romeo. As he said, yeah, marginally improved on the first sector as he goes through turn 5. Gets a really good exit going over the curbs. Turn 6 and 7 goes over the curb and not losing the back end, which shows how good the setup is. Really important exit here as he goes through turn 11, and probably sets purple again, 51.6, and he validates. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but it was a really solid lap until there from Matthew, which proves that once again he could be quite dominant, but he's gonna finish it. He wants to see what time he would have set. And I think it's going to be a 12.6. No, 12.7.
Well, over a 10th improvement there, so good lap, but unfortunately it's invalidated as he hopes to set another lap like that next time out. But yeah, Matthew can just perform with those kind of laps, you know, knuckle down and get the lap done. So good job there for Matthew, but also bad job for invalidating his lap. As if you are confused, TT Trinity is Black Phoenix, is Rocco. So he did join the team, and that's his new PSN name, if you guys didn't know that. So we're going to go aboard with Fleddy, who apparently has gone wheeled. Now, I don't know what else he's gone. I don't know if he's got no assists as well, but currently 7th with a 13.7. And let's see what he can do then, and the AlphaTauri, because he's had a lot of good results. Hopefully he can keep it up. As now, he's coming through the final corner then. Let's see what he can do. There goes Fleddy now. Gets a good exit. Oh, snaps there. Good control. And a 13.6. So he probably lost at least half a tenth or even a tenth with that little error. But not bad at all. 8th place with a 13.6. He would be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. I was watching Sondra, by the way, after Fleddy set his lap and he has invalidated. But he seemed on a quite steady lap. Although it can easily be improved. But he was on a really solid lap. Unfortunate for the Renault driver that if he doesn't get one lap right, he might have to start at the back of the grid.
Well, yeah, that is true, but as I've said in the past, starting at the back grid isn't really that bad, you know, especially I've done that and I've had good results, so, you know, anything can happen. Sandra maybe have a fluke race, but if he does start from the back, maybe a two-stop strategy could be in place. Lewis then is on a lap, locking up a bit. Is he starting feeling the pressure that Matthew may be a lot quicker than him right now, and probably this championship is already over by round number 4, but maybe too early. As here comes Lewis then around the final corner now. As he's going to set a lap. Oh, very wide again.
Close.
13 flat, 7,000th of an improvement there, Paco. Jeez.
I believe he lost most of the time in that final corner. The run through there was horrible.
Was indeed. There's Brandon's on another lap, Paco, if you want to go on board. Oh, he's actually invalidated.
Alright, no, he invalidates, but we could... No, never mind. Rocco didn't have
Kevin,
a good run through
he's
there.
On a lap right now.
Okay. Seems like he had a quite decent first sector as he goes through turn 5. Really easy to lose the back ender, and even more if you touch the curb. As he goes through turn 8, goes all over the curb. That's aggressive. Turn 9, really good exit. Watch out with the curb as well. And let's see how he does turn 11. Ooh, that's a bit unsteady. But 52.3, that's 8 tenths off from Matthews. So not a bad lap at all. Let's see how he finishes it. As he gets a really good exit here, he will have to try and go as tight as possible to try and get a good run through the last corner. And sets a 13.6, which is not bad at all, but we can see that the midfield is really close.
Yeah, that is true. And after we had that week break because of the actual real life F1 race in Bahrain, they were close to the last round at Silverstone. So, you know, again, the midfield is the closest, and usually Matthews pulled away by like a couple of attempts. So it's very close indeed. And right now then, Kevin in ninth with 13.6. Not a bad lap since he was promoted, so he'll be happy with that. As Nino has retired.
On the pits.
Interesting. Maybe that's a tactic for him to start, probably medium to hard, or soft to hard, or hard to soft, or whatever tyre choice he does choose. But right now he drops to 12 as Ollie just improves. 14.6. Just misses out on the top 10 actually by 6 tenths. So he's probably going to have a choice here, Paco. Do I do another lap on mediums, or do I go on softs? What do you think he'll do?
I'm not sure really. I mean, we'll have to see. It's 5 minutes remaining, so I would just stay, you know, and wait. But I'm quite surprised because I'm watching Luis Passman and he's back on mediums, which is weird because I believe his first lap he did it on mediums, although he didn't manage to finish it. So not sure what he's trying to do here. Maybe start just 11th and try to get that time just to be 11th, and maybe have a free tire choice as he goes through the final corner. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Let's see what he sets. 14.7, just behind Oli and just in front of Nino. So yeah, interesting tactics by the Racing Point driver.
Yeah, that is very interesting. You know, with 4.5 minutes, he has enough time to get in the pit lane and go on softs, but it's going to be close. But I'm still surprised Neil's retired this early on because he's now in the 13th. Does he want to start at the back of the grid and see what he can do? There's another bit of a lag spike there. But right now then, as we'll go on board with the 4-time champion Matthew Order, who's just improved, he's just done a 12.5. So you see what I mean? He can find a lap and he improves it by another couple of tenths. Now he's 5 tenths almost ahead. Jeez, what a lap.
To be honest, I wouldn't. I think it's not bold to say that Alfa Romeo have the constructor title and that Matthew has the driver title. I mean, it's just insane how good they are. Yeah,
I have to agree. You know, Matthew is just on point today. He's picked up the pace, been off the game for weeks, been on 2017, playing a bit of co-op, and then jumping back on the 2020, and he just does a lot like that, you know. So this guy just looks unbeatable. And speaking about a person we haven't actually mentioned here, Paco, it's Santiago Marticayan. He's in 3rd place, a 13.2. I didn't see that. So that's actually good enough for him. Matthew won't be able to set another lap, I don't think. So, as you were saying.
No, I mean, I was about to say about Santry that he was under threat by Alfie, but Alfie just invalidated. So he was improving marginally. I don't know if he will have time to come to the pits, if he maybe has a new set of tires to try a final lap. Yeah, he's going into the pits, so he might just have the time to go out again and try to beat Santry's time. I mean, I have to say, this is just like real life, you know. We have 1st and 2nd probably decided, but from 3rd and down below, it's just, you know, impossible to predict who's gonna come up in front.
Yeah, that is true, and Matthew actually might have a bit of time, but he's probably going to hurt Lewis a little bit, stacking up in the pit lane. There's only 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining, and I do have to actually admit, you're not allowed to actually cut the chicane for qualifying in laps and out laps, so already has to be careful that he doesn't do it in the actual lap or anything like that, as to try and gain time, because it could affect somebody else's lap, neither than his own.
I mean, to be honest, he's on his out lap. He's going quite slow, so yeah, I don't think he's injuring. You know, I don't think he's costing time to anybody. So, yeah.
Okay, then. Well, here comes Mr. Lord, as he wants to be called in the league, is his name. As Lord then down at the straight line begins his flying lap, and Paco, do you want to take it away as he enters turn 1?
Alright, we can see some people going out of the pit right now as the time hits 2 minutes remaining. So, Lordy, right now approaching turn 2, has a really good run, although he doesn't upshift that soon to 4th. Quite interesting from the Williams driver on his debut. As he doesn't improve on the first sector, has a decent run on turn 4, going now on turn 5, goes over that sort of curb, so he loses a little bit of time. He had to be cautious on that. And at the moment, not a brilliant lap, as it is that, yeah, exactly, he invalidates, so that's probably qualifying over. I don't think he's gonna have time and tires to do another attempt, so
no,
yeah.
I think he might actually. He's got enough ERS. You need at least 53% ERS to do a full lap, so I think he's got plenty of time.
But remember that the tire wear here, it's quite aggressive, so yeah, no, I wouldn't suggest him to do another lap, as we can see like Fleddy starting his flying lap, so if you want to take it.
Okay, we'll go on board with Fleddy then, if it lets me. As Fleddy then comes into turn 1, a bit of a lock up down the right front, up to 3rd, doesn't activate DRS as early as possible, but we are quite low, both Williams are staying out. Another lock up there for Fleddy, goes to 3rd, bit of a lock up though, runs a bit wide, into 6th now. Down the straight, first sector, what time will it be? And it's going to be a 26.3. 600's up on his time as we speak, and the fire alarm has gone off again. Flay then, moving up, down into the chicane. I do apologise for this. There's a right lock up there on the right front, and he needs to keep this car under control now as he's coming into the S6. This way he can gain a lot of time and a lot of good speed out through the left hand and out. Now for the fast right, he needs to get this right or he invalidates. Keeps it within track limits. There's yellows in sector 2. Just started sector 2. I think that's a Mercedes. Another lock up. I think that might be Lickle.
Yep.
Play then into the final couple of corners, the hairpin corners basically. And let's see what time he will do. Final corner now. Got to get a nice exit. Will he make a mistake like he did earlier? Will he run wide? No. Keeps it within track limits.
Nice exit.
Coming to the line. And it's a 13th pole. 7th place. Look how close it is.
Wow.
Lee.
And Lee just goes up to 2nd, so provisionally P2 for the Red Bull driver, and if Luis doesn't improve, what a quality then from him, as we can see Luis approaching the final corners. Matthew going through the finish line, he doesn't improve, so let's see what Luis could do, as I see a Racing Point going ahead. That's Kevin going up to 6, quite solid from him, and Luis
improves,
yeah,
12-8.
he claims that P2 back, you know, saying that's mine.
Yeah. Well, on board with Brand right now, currently apparently a purple sector 2. He's almost 2/10 up there, so he could easily get into 6th place. Kevin is in jeopardy for losing that 6th place right now. Here comes Brand then. Now, runs a bit wide there through the final corner. Now takes a nice tight entry. I don't know if that is the fastest way to take it, but let's see what he can do then. Up to the line, and he's going to do a 32. He does take 6th and says thank you very much. Could have been happy with 5th, but he has to take it.
Well, Luis Passman doesn't improve. I mean, he lifted up a bit before the finish line, so I'm not sure. Probably he wanted just to be 11th, but he backed off badly, and he thought he would be ahead of Ollie, but he wasn't, so Luis Passman stays 12th. And I have to say, what a qualifying. I mean, apart from Paul, we've had a thrilling, you know, midfield. As we can see, Santry only 4 hundredths from Luis, so... yeah, interesting, I would say.
Yeah, very interesting indeed then, as we go down through the qualifying order then. Matthew Rowe takes first with a 12.594. Lewis Curtis in second. Santeri in third. Lee Kelly in fourth. Good luck from him. Alfie in fifth. Brandon sixth. Kevin Harrison seventh. Rocco in eighth. Fleddy in 9th, Lodi on his debut in 10th, good qualifying. Ollie in 11th, Lewis Fassman, interest in 12th. Nino Romnello, don't know why he went 13th, but he wants to be there. Sondra Sohaug in 14th, and Edward then will be starting at the back of the grid with the 1:46.336 in 15th. As now we move on to the race. Is there any chance of rain? Is it going to chuck it down? Is there going to be cars flipping over? Only time will tell as we now get ready for the race prediction and the race win, and it's cloudy. And Brandon Vilgas has joined at the wrong time.
Oh, so unfortunate.
God, he just misses out, and that is a shame. That as well, we have to wait for them for the race to get their guys' strategies and all that sorted, so we can get on with the race. I doubt it'll be a restart because Brandon's joined now. No, Brandon has left though, so he's realised he is a bit too late. That is a shame there, Brandon. Hopefully you can make it next round out, as we have 30 seconds remaining for the drivers to pick their fuel loads, tyre choice, and I don't know what they're going to do with the race, when they're going to pit in that. So, Paco, your prediction.
I mean, right now, I don't know what top 3. I mean, probably Matthew on top. I would say Luis in 2nd, and in 3rd I'm going to risk it. And I believe I'm going to put Lee. I know he's not as constant, but I believe today he has more pace than what we think, and overall I think Red Bull is going to do a really solid race. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And not only that, Jared, I think there's going to be some rain. Probably they have said it in the comments if it's going to be dry or not. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I believe there could be some rain.
I've got to agree with you, to be honest. The clouds do look dark, but not everyone's on soft tyres. There's a couple of them on hard tyres, so the rain may be later in the race, so it might not even show at all. But my prediction then, Matthew, we both can agree with. I think he's going to take the win.
Yeah.
Of course, but 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. In my opinion, Lewis, I think is going to bottle 2nd. I think he's going to get 3rd. Lewis. I think Santiago Martin is going to take 2nd, and I think Lee could get a surprise 4th. But if he has a bit of bad luck, then I'll also put my money on Brandon there in 6th place. But right now then, as you said though, it does look cloudy, so maybe. But this isn't good for the hard runners because their tyres won't heat up as much, and the soft runners, this is perfect conditions because they don't have to drive fast that much to keep the tyres in optimal range. So right now, being on the softs may have been the better strategy.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, now I'm wondering, because we know Ollie Flavel is faster than that. Might he want to start P11th just to have free tire choice?
I don't know, maybe. It is planned. They had FP. Oh, hang on a minute. Both Alfa Romeos, did they hit each other? Yes, they did. They've already had a bit of controversy. Matthew Oda and Lewis Curtis touching each other, and they've been disqualified from the formation lot. And now that is great news for the Red Bull drivers. Are we going to see the Red Bulls destroy the Alfa Romeos into turn 1? Only time will tell.
You have to laugh. I just imagine, both of them on the party, blaming each other.
It reminds me of Matthew blaming Lewis on Rocket League. That is a different game, like in F1.
Yeah.
God, they can't even get the formation that right. Harvey, the grid. Oh, perfect camera angle I just got there for Matthew. I'm looking into the pit crowd. As right then, the light sequence is beginning. Then we got 5 red lights for the Hungarian race, and the lights are out. And Matthew's had an average start. Same with Lewis Curtis. But what about the Red Bulls in the background? And even with the formation that altercation, Brandon is already moving up, and the Alfa Romeos hold 1st and 2nd. But here comes Santiago Martin. He goes for a dive in the inside of Lewis Curtis, and he's got the move. He's now into 2nd place. As Lee Kelly tries to hold 6th, but Lewis is coming back at Santiago Martin again. Oh, look at this! The Red Bulls have collided, and Lewis Lee is round, and there's been contact. That was a massive dive.
Lot of front wing damage.
Oh God, you can see it. Racing Point, Red Bull, and I think a Mercedes front wing as well needs repairing. And Yellow's already in Sector 1.
And quite important, one of the Red Bulls, Santry, has been able to jump the Alfa Romeo. So despite that collision between teammates, right now one of the Red Bulls is in the middle of both Alfa Romeo. So yeah, interesting tactics.
Yeah, it was a good move. Lewis tried to go back on him in turn 2, and it just didn't work out. And I think that's what caused Lee to go for the inside move there for the dive. And to be honest, there's a lot of fighting in the background now. As you can see, Williams going off there, and AlphaTauri, more yellows. There's a safety car. Lee Kelly's out in the S section, so I'm guessing he's lost 3 rounds. Edward has hit Lewis Fassman with a 5-second penalty. which he will have to serve and will not be removed since he's got a pit. So now that is a shame. Safety car. Will anybody pit? Rocco Walsh in the pit lane.
Yeah, Lewis is pitting. Yeah, Rocco as well. Lordi. Oh, both Williams. Interesting call.
Hang on, who's that? Is that Lewis Curtis? It is. Lewis Curtis is in the pit lane. Matthew didn't pit. Interesting.
And look, everyone behind with hard tires are pitting. I mean,
oh, Lewis getting held up. Lewis getting held up in the pits. This could be costly in the race as the Williams there were double stacking. That could cost him a lot of time.
Actually, no, he's still on the same position. So, yeah, that it didn't affect really. But I have to say, quite weird decision by the hard drivers, you know, to go on mediums. I mean, are they expecting some rain? Are they? I don't know. I mean, why would they go mediums right now?
Well, to be honest, if I think I know what they're doing, I think they're going to go medium. They can make it to the end.
Yeah, they can, but well, I mean, I think it's gonna be an interesting call, to be honest. I mean, if you're gonna go mediums now, in the end, Hungary, you know, it's really difficult to overtake. I mean, you really have to be faster than the car ahead, and probably there's gonna be a lot of DRS train, right? So, I believe that if you stayed in hards, you know, and in the final laps you put mediums, I think it would work better. But hey, I'm not an F1 driver. So probably that's why I'm not an F1 driver, you know, because I know nothing about the game. So yeah, let's hope they got it right, you know, and that they can have a good race. But I have my doubts.
Well, I can give a bit of insight because I did take this strategy, doing the two-stop roundabout this time actually, and it wasn't that bad. You know, I was 18th and I moved up to 3rd in the end. So, you know. But it is with Matthew in here, and Matthew was an FP, but he was also in that car actually, ironically. But I've got to say, even though they're on softs, they're going to pull a bit of a gap. Maybe when they pit in, they'll have probably a 5-second lead. Matthew may have an 8-second lead over the guys on mediums. But they will have to pit. Then they'll be behind the medium runners. Then they'll catch the medium runners, and then they have to overtake. This is where the front medium runners like Lewis Curtis, Begay and Ollie could be in a good position where they can pit again, go on mediums and have the tyre advantage, because by then Matthew may have actually wasted a bit of his tyre wear to try and fight to go back up the grid. So it could be a very interesting tactic.
And this is even more interesting. Lewis Bassman pitted for mediums, but he has pitted again now for hards. So I believe he's going to try and... Yeah, he's going to try it. I mean, Matthew and I did 27 laps, I believe, on hards. They weren't that bad, really. I mean, my front left was 61, so I believe he could do it if he drives quite smartly. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but I actually believe he could make it work. And one more thing, Jared. Luis and Matthew have a splitted strategy, so I think this is gonna be key, and it's gonna actually give us some good show, you know, for the race. I think it's gonna be a battle, a strategical battle for the win.
Yeah, that is true, and apologies for that black screen. I will turn my notifications off. I don't know why it's just popped up there. Yeah, I have to agree, you know, they're on a different strategy. Matthew on softs, and Matthew tactically doing his backup thing, but he has to be careful because if people go side by side and gets penalties, he will be penalised because he can't go that slow where people are going to go side by side of each other and cause a glitch. Although Matthew's rear end was a bit unstable there as the restart has begun, and that Red Bull, look at him, he's all over him. Matthew could be in trouble.
I think he's gonna, well, no, he doesn't have the straight line speed, it seems, to try to move. Actually, it seems like Matthew has more straight line speed and is able to...
Oh, look at Bran! Oh, God, looked like he was going for the dive. Oh,
close goal.
Getting a bit too close
Quite
there.
close. Oh, and Kevin.
Oh, we're going to Kevin right now.
Kevin will try to move on Rocco, not close enough, and
Lewis
he stays behind.
making a move on Nino. Round the outside now, through turn number 3. They're going side by side. Nino cuts him off. Yeah. Will this end in tears? These two have had bad blood in the past. Lewis and Nino, Ferrari versus Alfa Romeo. Nino runs wide. Nino gets a 3-second time penalty, and that's the first penalty we see here. Will Lewis be able to get through the field as quick as can to try and win this race?
I mean, not only go through the field, but the key part here is to not stay behind Nino, because we have to remember that Nino right now is on hards, and I don't believe he has the pace to keep up with the guys in front. So, crucial part of the race here for Luis. He has to get that Ferrari out of his way.
Yeah, that is true there. And right now, they're on board with Alfie right now, who's watching this battle unfold. I believe Lewis will get him. Nino may be smart and decide, you know what, I'll let you through, Lewis. You can pull me along. And I may be able to catch and get some good runs on these soft runners, guys. But right now, though, Matthew, good restart, almost already pulled a second lead, and he has now. He's got a second gap. Matthew sets the current fast lap, 17 flat.
Luis, watch out for Luis. I think he's gonna try it. He's getting closer and closer. Gets the slipstream, goes down the inside, and he's sent. It's going up to P5 right now. Will Nino try this? Luis has quite a steady exit from the first corner, but he keeps fifth spot, and yeah, there's no one else who's gonna try the overtake on Nino. So that's P6 for Nino, and from now on, I think he should stay behind, keep up as much as he can with Luis, and yeah, try to do the race from there.
Oh yeah, right now though, Lewis just needs to keep his composure, just keep control. But now his next target is Bran. Bran, when he wants to, he will park a bus. Right now though, I don't think he will. I think he's realised now I'm currently could fight for a podium here today, and I might want to just fight for a position for Fleddy right now. But Lewis is in a good position right now. The gap between him and the leader is 3.8 seconds. You need at least a 21-second gap if you want to get ahead of a driver in the pit lane. So Matthew's still got a lot of work to do if he wants to try that and try and cut this two-stop strategy from Lewis.
Yeah, and watch out with Alfie as well, because it seems he's much quicker than Nino. He's 3/10 off. I think he's going to be able to try it, as Luis is also all over the back of Bran, so we might see double overtake here as Alfie tries to get a good run. Luis is not close enough to try a move, but we'll see if Alfie is. He might try the dive. No, he's still far away as he now goes for the traction at the exit for Tacona, but not close enough, so that's going to be another lap behind Nino. And I believe Alfie has a little bit more of pace and he could keep up with Luis, but for that he needs to overtake the Ferrari.
Yeah, I've got to agree there, but I've got to say also though, Nino is actually showing some strong pace as well though. Keep him with the soft and medium runners, you know, with the pace he's got on those hards. Those hards should be at least 7/10 slower, as it says on the qualifying graph all the time. So right now, Nino's doing a brilliant job in that Ferrari. Nino has proven that he has the pace to challenge the top runners. Like when he first moved back into F1 after he had a long break, he was in the Ferrari, and you know, in Bahrain, he was challenging for the win for that race against Matthew. And look at Lewis Curtis, he's all over the back end now, Bran. Could easily get an overtake here, but he needs to nail it. He needs to save his ERS, because you only can save 1% ERS round here if you don't use it. So you've got to be careful with the ERS usage.
I think he's going to be able to make it. He's quite close. We can see Bran is 6/10 off Lady. I mean, he's going to have DRS, but with slipstream, ERS and DRS, Luis might be able to pull out the overtake. Let's see. He has a really good exit all over the back of Bran, but it seems like Bran pulls a little bit from Luis. It's going to cover the inside, but Luis goes even further on the inside at one time because Fleddy almost gets hit. As we can see, Luis get the overtake done, and he's now up to fourth, but Bran has a really bad exit there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was him turning in or a real bad exit, because I got a bad camera angle there for Bran, but Bran there did a classic Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello moment where Michael Schumacher almost put Barrichello into the wall, but Bran failed at his defence this time, and that is questioning his defensive abilities, because right now Nino is all over that rear end. Mercedes versus Ferrari, as Gordy then picks up his first penalty of the day, currently in 13th place, 7/10 off Edward for 12th.
Yeah, right now I would say, I mean, the race is interesting because Luis with mediums, if he gets the overtake done on Fleddy, he might be able to catch the Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo, you know, which will make him a contender to this race. As we can see Nino all over the back of Bran. It seems like Bran really struggling with the softs now, as Nino has a really good run round the outside, and Bran goes directly into the pits. Yeah, I don't know if he has damage or if he just calls it for today, I mean, with the soft, but yeah, definitely going into the pit, and we can see Luis. Is he overtake on Fleddy?
Yeah, he's overtaking Nino, but what about Alfie though? He's going on Nino now. Thinking about it on the inside, that was very close there. Good defensive driving and good driving from both drivers there to avoid a crash. But right now though, Lewis into third place, as you've said. Will Lewis be a big contender to win a race. He said, he even asked Matthew today, I did hear this a couple hours ago, saying, can you let me just win a race, just give me some luck? And maybe this luck is now coming to play, because Lewis Curtis is 1.5 seconds off Santeri, who's 2 seconds down the road from Matthew. So, and the ball out himself gets a penalty, 3 seconds already. That isn't good for Sondra. He needs to keep under control on the penalties, because if I remember correctly, he is a disqualifying merchant, as we stay on board with Lewis right now.
Well, and Luis probably will get in the arrest range before the lap ends, so that's going to be crucial for him. As we can see, he gets a 3-second time penalty. He already started with the penalties. That's too soon, mate. But we'll have to wait and see. Matthew and FP actually got a penalty, so he might have a chance to, you know, if he doesn't get any other penalty, to keep that third spot. But we'll have to see and wait. As Freddy goes into the pits, Nino, I think he just got the arrest. Maybe not, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, he did. And now the battle is between Alfie and Nino. Alfie has been 4 laps behind Nino, but Nino with those hearts, I have to say, impressive stuff from the driver from Wales.
Yeah, I've got to give it impressive just indeed. But we're going to go aboard with Lewis Fast right now. He's currently in 12th place as well.
Oh, watch out for Lewis. He's going to go around the outside. Whoa, he did it before.
Beauty.
Amazing stuff.
Probably
Beautiful,
there,
yeah.
Probably got a warning
But I
there.
think it was worth it. I think it was worth it.
Beauty move there from Lewis. Now, he needs to pick up the pace. It's time for hammer time, as people say to Hamilton. It is time for Lewis Curtis' time. He needs to gain 1.9 seconds within the next couple of laps before Matthew makes his pit stop. And then he needs to pray that Matthew gets held up by the traffic and Lewis pulls away and gets to a gap at least 25 seconds. Because right now, Lewis is looking favourite to win this race. Matthew, you are washed. Get out the way, let Lewis win for this time. But I've got to say, a bit less biased now. We've got to have a fair fight for the lead. And it's going to be an exciting fight as well, isn't it, Paco?
Yeah, and I think that as we can see Matthew going into the pit, so I don't know if he gave the arrest to Lewis, no. But I think it's going to be an interesting fight in the final lap, because now Matthew with heart, I think he'll have better pace. As we can see, watch out, Alfie going down the inside on Nino. And I think he has the, well, wait a minute, Nino hasn't given up. I see, well, yeah, but with the race, Alfie has a better straight line speed, but Nino is not done as he locks up. But I would say that's P2 for Alfie.
Yeah, I've got to agree. You know, Alfie right now then is looking very strong as well, but he needs to also pull the gap and try and catch up with Lewis at least to hold his second place, because the guys now are on hard tyres. Matthew and Santamarta, they're in 11th and 12th. Right, this would be great news if the race just finishes the way it is, because Matthew would get 0 points and Lewis would gain in the championship.
Oh.
But as we see an overtake further behind, Edward and Sondra Sohauk, as Sondra then losing the position and Edward then moves into 7th now. But Sondra has to watch out. He has now Lodi, the debut driver, on his tail. Lodi is showing some impressive pace and looking for points on his first round.
I actually believe Sondra let Lickle by. I mean, I don't think he really tried to defend that position, really. He probably thought Lickle had better pace.
That could be true, but right now the gap between Lewis and Alfie is closed a little bit now. 2.8 seconds, now 2.7, so it is actually Bugatti favourite for the win as well. We could see some pace differences. Right now though, he has plenty more ERS. He has over 50% compared to Lewis, who only has 30. Lewis now needs to ERS save and just control these tyres and try and keep the gap. Let's have a look to the leader here, Paco, with Matthew then. 17.8 seconds the gap is to the leader.
Yeah, and we can see at the moment keeping like quite constant, I have to say. I mean, it's not going down either up. I mean, he's now gaining a little bit, but I think this is going to be crucial. I mean, right now Luis is on the key part of his race. He has to have a really solid pace, probably last until lap 17. Matthew's going to gain. As we can see, Lord is now the one who overtakes Sondra, as well as Luis Passman.
Fighting.
Yeah, they're still, well, the Norwegian driver actually keeps up with 9th place, but yeah, Luis Passman really aggressive in there. He tried to go for the move, but didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work indeed there. It looked like Lewis tried it in the chicane, and it's very hard to go side by side there, especially with how wide these cars are now. Maybe if it was back in the 06 or the 08 regulations, maybe you could go side by side and actually fight side by side the rest of the race. But right now, Sondra there losing a bit of the rear end. Lewis Fassman then looking favourite for another position who's not pitting. It looks like he's going hard to the end.
Yeah, I mean, actually I believe Lewis Fassman race is now interesting because, or actually not, I mean, I think this is gonna be exciting, you know, to see if Lewis Fassman pits and what will he do when Matthew catches him, because eventually Matthew will catch Luis. So will he try to defend? Will he try, you know, to protect that position like if his life was on it? I think it's gonna be. I think we have plenty of things to see in this race, and there's still 23 laps remaining. So yeah, couldn't be more interesting than this.
No, it's true. The Lewis then picked up the pace a little bit now. Gap 2.9 seconds. Gap between him and his teammate is 17 seconds right now. Matthew is picking up the pace. So Matthew has now realised, the engineer's probably told him, if you want to have the win today, you need to get your head down and push. Because right now, the only person who could, with a slight chance, get the win, as we have been talking about him, is Lewis Fassman. He doesn't have to pit. The guys in front of him do. He just needs to nurse those hards as long as he can. As Paco said, he's took them at least 27 laps and those 60%. Lewis is very good at nurturing his tyres, and he's not a penalty merchant, so we could see Lewis get a podium as well. So we can't count him out, but we also can't count out the medium runners who will have to pit again and go on mediums. But right now, what do you think of Lewis's chances, Paco, of winning this race? He's currently in first with a 2.8 second gap.
I mean, I think he's the favourite. I know this is bold, but I believe he's the favourite right now. I mean, Matthew will have a solid pace, you know, he knows how to defend, but I really think that Luis will have better pace with the mediums, although he will struggle to get that 3-second gap. I think depending on what lap he pits will be key for his race. But for me, he has a really high chance to win here.
I would actually agree, as we're right now on board with the battle between Lewis, Sondre and Lordy for 8th place. 3-car fight. Right now, Renault, Williams and a Racing Point, which Rocco, speaking about Williams, have now just got a 3-second time penalty added to his time. So let's have a look at the penalties right now, as we usually do with the new display. And the only people who've got penalties then is Lewis Curtis, Nino Romanello, Trinity and Lordy and Sondre, all 3-second penalties. Will Matthew be added to that list? As Sondre then runs a bit wide there, trying to get some more time as he's gaining on the Williams a little bit. But he isn't using his ERS. Look at his ERS usage. It's 80%. Yeah. He's been smart with it. But look how much he gains in the braking zone there.
Yeah, Sondre really smart in there. I mean, knowing where to brake exactly, but not close enough to Lordy. So he's going to stay one more lap behind the Williams driver. And we can see Matthew, you know, he was 3 laps ago or 4 laps ago, he was 18 seconds off from the lead. He's now 15.8. He's catching on Luis. He's catching on Sondre. As we can see, Lordy picks up a penalty. So I think right now, if Matthew catches this group before they pit, he will lose a lot of time. So I think this is going to be crucial as well for the race.
Yeah, it is. You know, Sondre might let him by, but I don't think Lewis or maybe Lordy will let him by. I think they'll fight for the position, you know, like especially with the contribution of IRL and N5 with NASCAR, you know, some of these drivers actually fight. They don't give away positions, they fight for it. So I think there could be a very strong fight and prevent Matthew having a good chance of winning today. Because right now Lewis has done the hard work to try and win a race. Could Lewis be the first teammate in IRL F1 history against Matthew to win a race against him? Because Cameron didn't do it, Sondre didn't do it, Rocco didn't do it. Will Lewis be the first one? As right now then, Sondre then, still getting close to Lordy, but look at his tail. Lewis Fassman winning the wings, doesn't have to pit, and I've got to say, Paco, quick question about the weather. The cloud is starting to clear a little bit. It looks like rain is not going to have a threat to the racing at all.
Yeah, I mean, and also the fact, you know, that the drivers who pitted put out hards, you know, I think it's a clear proof that there's not gonna be rain. So, I mean, I would say that's good for the race right now, because I believe Luis has a really high chance to be on the fight, and finally we're gonna have a really good fight for the win here. But yeah, I mean, I think the rain is always good in a race, but in this case, not sad about the rain missing out on this race.
It's true. Matthew then goes the gap now 2.4 seconds to Lewis Fast. Let's have a look at the gap to leader. And the gap to leader is 15 seconds. Now, I'm no expert, but that gap will help him a little bit. But now he needs to lose a bit of time when he catches this fight. These guys need to hold him up. Because right now, Lewis can't take those mediums to the end. Maybe he should have decided to go on the hard tyres as a strategy. But he is doing the 2-stop. So let's see what Lewis can do as a gap now to Bugatti 3.2. And that's what you're saying, Paco.
I mean, right now, he could pit for mediums. I mean, he could pit around now, but he could also pit on lap 18, 19, which I think that would be ideal. Doesn't matter how much time he loses to Matthew, as Matthew will eventually encounter these guys. But I believe right now Luis has... I mean, he doesn't have to worry about the time he loses to Matthew. He just has to mind his own business, go into the new mediums, and try and catch Matthew as much as he can. He knows he has the pace, he knows he has the strategy call as well. He has to be calm, you know, he cannot make any other mistake.
Yeah, that's true, but there is a bit of a flaw of Lewis's strategy. Matthew has over 70% ERS. Lewis only has 50. Now, if Matthew is smart, he's now going to save this behind them, and then even though if Lewis will be behind him, he's going to have more ERS. Lewis is going to have to push.
But Matthew has pitted. Lewis hasn't, and you gain a lot in the pits.
Oh, Kevin in.
Yeah, Kevin in, and look at that. Just saying, Matthew is already on this pack, so from now on, he's gonna get their tier, which will affect him, and probably he will get blocked by this guy. So if Luis has anything saved on those tires, it's time to push everything he has.
Well, it's true. Right now, this fight for 8th place is now really getting heated up now. Matthew is now got a 4-car fight now for the position. And actually he's for 7th place now since Kevin Pitt. There's the point, looking strong. This could easily end in tears though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and if they make, you know, a wrong move, it could affect Matthew massively. So they have to really watch out. Matthew will have to be really clever. I have to say, from the race in FP, he was really smart. I mean, when you get the look at that, he really has run. I don't know if he's gonna try down the inside. No, he stays behind. That's what I mean, you know. When you get the chance, you know, to race against him, you realize about how good. Yeah, down the inside, easy move, and yeah, he's already P9, but he has lost
5/10,
2 or 3 tenths on this lap. Yeah, so yeah, this is helping Luis a little bit. So he has to take advantage of this. As we can see on the straight, Matthew's not going to be able to catch Sondra. Sondra also has DRS from Lodi. But, Sondra defense, look at that, he has to go down the inside, and that's a really good move by Matthew. But look at that, he didn't have the exit.
Go on, Sondra! Go on, Sondra! Kick it out! I don't care! Sondra, get the position! He's going into the inside!
He's still side by side! Oh, not enough, look at that run.
Matthew there.
Yeah, I mean, those tires. But still, he lost a little bit of time.
On the outside! Oh, this could end in tears!
No.
Very close there.
What? I mean, brilliant move by Luis Passman. I mean, who would have called it, you know?
Good move there from Lewis. God. He's keeping with Matthew. Now he's just following Matthew around, so Lewis looks favourite for a podium as well. If he can hold the tyres. Right now, though, gap to leader is 14.4 seconds. Hasn't lost time. Lewis is in a bit of a trouble now, because he's also, we've got to remember, he has a 3-second penalty. He has to catch up, and he has to pull away. He's on lap 18, so soon he has to make that pit stop, and he's going to have to push those tyres.
But when Luis Passman gets a 3-second time penalty, you said he was not a penalty merchant, as we can see Rocco and Legal pitting, but he gets the first penalty of the race. Look at that, Matthew right now behind Lodi. He's 14.7, so he has lost time to Luis. But yeah, it's the overtake. He's gonna gain a lot on this straight, as we can see. 3 people pitting. Yeah, as you said, Sondra also pitting. So yeah, right now the race is gonna get a little bit paused. You know, it's gonna get come, as we can see. Kevin setting the fastest lap of the race, so he's now in P11. He can probably gain all his position, and maybe Nino if he pits. No, Nino has to pit, so
yeah, that is true. But if I was Lewis, I'd pit, because he's going to lose so much time if he doesn't, because Luke Matthew then will come out of nowhere and then take the win.
Yeah, I agree.
Brand, 3 second. That's interesting. He's 9th.
And as I told you, lap 19, Jared. Lap 19 is the ideal lap to pit for new medium. So he has to pit right now. Matthew's just gaining and gaining, and I think, yeah, he's going into the pits.
Will he bottle the paint streak? No, he keeps it out of the wall this time.
Wait, he has to watch out the speed limit. Oh, okay, he's done it quite well.
Alright,
and everyone pits.
Yeah, everyone's in. So Matthew
Nino
is going to retake the lead of the race. Lordy is going to hold second for now, but he's got Lewis Bassman all over his tail. And Matthew then leaving the straight, then passing his teammates. Teammates now just leaving the pit lane. So it is now game on between the Alfa Romeo drivers, Lewis Curtis versus Matthew Older. Will he get any clean
what's
air?
that Red Bull? What's a Santori?
Oh,
he's quite close from Lewis.
He holds him though, and he's got him. Look at the traction.
Yeah, the tires. Yeah.
Look at the traction there from Lewis Curtis, and now he holds fourth, and he's going to fight for the win of the race. As Matthew then in the first right now.
He will have to push a lot, and yeah, Lewis Bassman right now sitting in third. We'll have to see how he reacts. I mean, Lordy probably will pit on this lap as Rocco pitted, so he couldn't pit on the same lap. If not, they would have a double stack as in safety car period.
But
yeah,
2.5, 2.4. He's gained 7 tenths within this lap pack up. Lewis is pushing.
Yeah, and he also getting on Matthew. He was 6 seconds at the exit of the pits. He's already 4.8. So yeah, I mean, he really has the pace, and he has to take advantage of these first laps on the medium.
Yeah, he's got to keep the strong pace. He can't just have one good lap and then back off and lose the time. He needs to be consistent with the pace, because if he wants a chance to win this race, he can now feel it. He needs to get a 3-second gap as well if he passes Matthew. Right now though, one body Lewis Bassman. We have to count him in as well. He isn't going to be fighting for Matthew, but he could prevent Lewis. Oh, we see a fight further behind.
Yeah, Alfie taking the position and going up to 6. And I don't know if, I mean, you can see the difference, you know, between mediums and hards. That it's such the difference, you know, that Kevin is being able to race faster than Brandon, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin actually gets P6 on this race. I mean, he's having such a good race, and Kevin, you know, proving that maybe he won't fight for podiums, but he can get a lot of points this season.
Oh yeah, as well, especially with the rest of the point team as well. They're going to score a lot of points today, because right now they're 3rd and 8th. Now, that is a lot of points to score for the team, especially for a debut team with 2 new drivers, you know, from a lower tier. But Bran is getting showed by an F2 driver that Bran's slow pace isn't going to cover it anymore. Bran needs to pick it up.
Luis sending it down the inside. Luis Bassman closes the door, but Luis overtakes Luis, and he's now up to 3rd. And I think he's gonna make the overtake on the straight on Lordy. Lordy didn't pit, which is surprising. Yeah, a lot. And quite surprised, to be honest, that Lordy hasn't pitted yet, as Alfie says the fastest lap. And sad news for Alfie, Luis is now gonna take the fastest lap. As he had DRS on both straights, and he can push as much as he wants.
Oh lordy there, bad exit. Looks like he's under threat by Lewis Bassman again. As the fast lap's currently 16.5, but Lewis is in the wings waiting and watching for a mistake. Will Lordy take these tyres to the end? He still needs to pit. There's no way he can take mediums this long. He has to pit for softs.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I think he's waiting to pit for softs, but he should have pitted for mediums, honestly.
Gap 3.5 from leader.
Yeah, Lewis is catching. We're gonna have a thrilling race, to be honest.
This is Matthew. Oh, we see a fight
Kevin is
behind.
already 4 tenths off from Brand.
Yeah, but Nino making a move. That's what I meant. Nino going for a dive. Kane won't like that. I guarantee Kane will be saying, "Oh, what are you doing, Nino? Get out of the way!" in his Irish accent. But Nino has just showed him that. Good move.
Yeah, that was a really brave move. As we can see, Sondra getting another 3 seconds at penalty. Not surprised, to be honest.
And you're right.
And yeah,
Lewis 16.2.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, he had DRS on both straights, as we can see Lewis Bassman making the overtake on Lodi, but watch out, they're still side by side. Lewis Bassman wants to have that move done round the outside, but the Williams holds on down the inside with those 20 lap tires. Insane.
Oh, no, it's going in tears. This is where... Oh, no,
yeah.
it has!
Safety car! Safety car! That's safety car! That has to be safety car!
That has to be. Both cars are out. That was a big hit, and that's what
Safety car!
Oh my god, this could be crucial. Will Matthew pit and go for soft tyres and push, or will he hold those hard and go mediums, or will he just do something out of this world? But I've just got to say, Lewis Fossman's had more bad luck because that's where he crashed out in FP. Big hit though.
Yeah.
From Williams.
Yeah, and I have to say, if we have to blame someone for the incident, that's Lodi. I mean, I like Lodi. I mean, not in a homosexual way, of course.
Oh, for God's sake.
But I mean, he's a nice guy, but there he was in the wrong. He just closed on the racing point. He didn't leave him enough gap to be there, as we can see. Matthew is not pitting, so he really believes he can hold the position to Lewis. We'll have to wait and see. But the Red Bull indeed does pit. I think it was quite slow. I think it was a Delta.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. He's going to have to decide softs. I think softs can just make it. Brand's in the pits as well. And as we were saying with the incident between Lodi and the racing point of Lewis Fassman there, it's very unfortunate because Lewis was looking for a podium. And it was a good fight, but I think Lodi just turned a little bit too much. I don't think he meant it intentionally, and it just ended wrong. And that is a shame for both drivers, especially for Lodi on his debut, looking for points, and it just ends there. And we have 3 DNFs in today's race, but a thrilling race indeed now. We have a fight for the lead of the race for the first time ever in F1 history since Season 5, where we had Jack Oil dominate most of the time, but then we had Felix now and then, and we had Brand fighting for positions as well. But now, it is time for the Titans. Matthew Older versus Lewis Kurz. It's like Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton. Who will win this race?
And not only this, I mean, only 2 drivers have switched to soft, which is interesting. I understand that there's still 11 laps remaining, but for when the safety car goes in, there's gonna be around 9-8 laps. So I think that should be enough for the soft to work. So surprise no one else apart from Fletty and Edward that they haven't gone into the pits as well and go to softs.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I'm surprised. Not a lot of people. I'm surprised Matthew didn't pit because Matthew is in a bit of trouble now. Because he may be able to hold Lewis, but he's got people behind him on fresh mediums
with penalties.
Well, not all of them. Kevin, he's on fresh mediums anyway. 6 laps, maybe 3 laps more than Lewis.
I mean, that's the thing. 6 laps. I mean, there's a big difference, and we have to agree. Right now, Alfie, Luis, Nino, only. They are on 2-lap mediums. I mean, 2 laps. They, as we can see, only pitting. That's weird, to be honest.
Yeah, why is only pitting? He's in a good podium, though.
But I mean, it's only 2 laps because the other 2 laps has been under safety car. So, I think there's a big difference. I don't think Kevin is gonna have a good run because we could see how Nino was much faster than Kevin and how he made the overtake. So I think Matthew, I don't know really. This is what I love from these situations. That you can't really predict what's gonna happen.
No, you can't. It's it's F1. You never can get anything right. Like people predicted Max Verstappen was going to win the first round in the actual real race, and in the end it was the goat Lewis Hamilton who showed all the Dutch Max Verstappen fans that Hamilton is the goat. But enough about real F1. It's now with Matthew and Lewis, and I've got to agree. You can't predict this. Matthew could win, Lewis could win. We could even see Romanello win this race somehow. I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying. Alfie could win this race. Kevin, slim chance. 5 laps at more saves mediums already with the 2-lap safety car, so he's got a chance. Rocco's got a chance. Santeri has got the highest chance, I think, though, with Lewis, because he's on fresh mediums, he has no penalties, but the only thing what's his Achilles heel, he needs to get past the traffic. He needs to get through as quick as possible and just hurt Matthew where it hurts and get the position on track. But right now, it's very favourite between the Alfa Romeo boys, as the safety car is in this lap, so it's going to get juicy. Who will take the win? We have 10 to 11 laps remaining, I believe. Lap 25,
and
25.
One more thing, will actually Matthew let his teammate by, or we will see? I mean, because to be honest, Lewis has penalties, so Matthew will maybe just try to have slipstream from his teammate, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, if Matthew has any sense, then he would rather think, well, it's a team effort. Constructors, I'd rather get the championship earlier than later. But here he goes then, as we go around the final corner. Matthew's still waiting, but this isn't really the best thing he could do, because Lewis could go when he's not expecting it. And will they go? He's going to.
He's waiting. He's waiting. Oh, that was close. Oh my God,
questionable
3
there from
wide.
Matthew. That was
And
questionable.
Luis is gonna really questionable on one side because we could have a 3 wide. Luis trying to go around the outside on Alfie. Nino trying to hold down the inside. He might get the position. So Luis losing 2 positions. That's a lot of positions to be honest at the restart. On one side because behind we can see Kevin going down the inside on Rocco as Rocco cannot defend. But one side the Renault, Sondra trying to have a little look down the inside on Kevin, but he couldn't make the overtake work. And meanwhile behind the Red Bull,
oh my God,
on
Sondra.
Yeah, by Brennan, Sondre, and Oli already overtook 2 guys, so he's now in P10 with softs. So let's see how that strategy works. And right now, Alfie could be on the run for the win, and I think this was quite strategical from Matthew because I believe he didn't want his teammate to win. So that favor that Luis was asking for, I think it's not going to be made on this race.
Yeah, I agree. It was questionable, but the way he did it, it made Luis lift off. So. I don't know, Matthew there, I'm just going to say, kind of a bitch move. Oh, contact.
The Red Bull sent it on Kevin, and Kevin now loses the position, and he's down to P7th. So that's what I meant with his 8-lap mediums, you know, that he was going to struggle compared to those fresh mediums from everyone else. Oh, Alfie? No, he's not close enough.
I just hope Alfie just dive bombs it, to be honest, because I'd like to see a nice fight for the lead.
Nah, you just want Matthew to spin around.
No, that's correct. I think that what he did was a bit of a cheap shot, to be honest, but it's while Matthew wants to race, and I've got to give him credit though, he has pulled it out of the bag, you know, he's 16 lap hard, right? Everybody... Matthew just got a penalty! It's even playing field! Everyone go on the attack strategy, destroy Matthew, win the race, come on, I want spicy action.
Not even kidding. If you put the leader gap, Kevin is right now around the 3-second gap.
Yeah.
So, Kevin could
win.
Get the win.
IRL F1. That'll be the first F2 driver to win an F1 race. We've never seen this. Like, yeah, we've had Brand, but Brand was in F2 after he had his win. And right now, look, Alfie looking hungry. He could easily win this race. Now this is getting really spicy.
Oh,
everyone.
Rocco gets overtaken.
Santeri making moves, and he is flying. Now he's also got a penalty, remember. He got a 3-second under safety car restart. But he is flying. He's making moves.
Let's see the exit that the AlphaTauri gets. He put ERS on as DRS is now enabled for the last 7 laps. And Alfie's not going to be close enough. I mean, probably he's going to wait for the DRS to emerge, you know, and then do the overtake and pull away. But yeah, here you can see that not that easy to make the overtake here. Oh, massive lockup by Matthew.
Well, right now though, he's safe from losing the lead. Right now though, Kevin is now 3.1 seconds. Kevin needs to pick up the pace a little bit more now to just be in that gap. Will Matthew bottle? Will Matthew crack under the pressure? Rocco's got a 3-second time penalty, so he's out for the chance of winning this race today. But right now, Nino, Rocco, Matthew, Lewis Curtis, and Santeri Montcane all fighting for the win of this race. That 28 out of 35, anything can happen. Look at Matthew though, running wide lines, trying to get more traction, trying to get better exits than these guys, and trying to hold this streak alive. Will he take 4 wins in a row? Will he take 4 poles in a row? Will he do it? Only time will tell us. Well, that 28 out of 35.
And Matthew has saved a lot of ERS. I think he has saved for this situation, you know, to defend himself from Alfie. We'll have to wait and see as Alfie will now open the ERS. He'll get the toe from Matthew. And he puts ERS on. He's catching a little bit, but not enough to make the overtake in here. He will have to try on turn 2 as he gets a really good break, and he will go for the traction now. As I would say he had a decent run, but I wouldn't say it's enough to try the overtake on the Alfa Romeo as he's still behind. And yeah, the clock is running out, so he has to find a way to make that move work. I mean, he's not on a hurry, you know, like he doesn't have to make the move now that Matthew had the same position, but as the laps goes on, those mediums are gonna work worse. So I would say it's oh, and Sondre losing some positions.
Oh, he's bottled. He's done some. I don't. What is he?
What has he done this time, you know?
Yeah, I think he might have touched the curb or something, or he's just let everybody through and think, you know what, I'm going to go for the fast lap, or I'm going to risk my race and just, you know, just have a cruise. You know, we ain't got the pace or something. But right now though, we're going back for the lead. because this is the most interesting fight right now. We have 5 cars fighting for the position. I would go down midfield, but there's no overtakes yet. We will keep an eye on that. But right now, though, fight for the lead. Who's going to get it? Will it be Nino? Will it be Rocco? Will it be Lewis? Will it be Matthew?
Alfie has a really good chance now. Not enough. He opens Sirius again. Oh, but this time he's getting closer. I think he's getting David down the inside. Amazing movement. He sends it down the inside. Beautiful by Alfie. But look at that amazing switch back. Oh, but watch out, he still has the DRS and ERS. I think he's gonna send it down the inside, but Nino is already close. Oh, he touches Matthew, and this is what we wanted. Contact, you know, we wanted mayhem, and there is mayhem as Alfie gets up to first, but that's controversial, and I think stewards will have to take a look at that. And Kevin is now back at that 3-second range, so interesting things we're seeing here right now.
Well, I've got to give it to my favourite driver right now, in 3rd place, Mr. Nino Romanello. Nino Romanello right now is in attack range. Will he be able to take Matthew? Matthew has just been easy picking for Bugatti. Matthew bottled the strategy, but will Alfie pick up another pen with that contact? I don't know. It looked like just a little bit of a nudge, bit of a misjudge on the braking, both fighting for the win. But right now, Nino looking aggressive and looking hungry. Will he take the win of the race?
The crucial part here, if Alfie is able to pull away from the RS range, because if not, Matthew is going to be able to protect a little bit from Nino, but we'll have to wait and see. Nino getting a really good exit here, only 3/10 off from Matthew. ERS and DRS and slipstream, I don't know if it's going to be enough, as we can see Matthew catching back on Alfie, but not enough, of course, to try the overtake. Oh, but he locks up, he has a really good braking, and he's now 6/10 off. Oh, and Nino has a really tricky exit. Oh, and Luis is off!
Lewis is bottled, and he's come back to haunt him. Last season's altercation in Abu Dhabi, he tries to overtake someone, he goes into the wall. What is happening with the Alfa Romeo drivers today? Just a lot of bad luck. Right now, it looks like only one Alfa Romeo driver is going to get points in today's race. Matthew.
Oh, and watch out! Look at that Brand trying to move on Kevin.
I missed that,
and to be honest, I don't understand what Brand has done, because Kevin didn't have any penalties, and to be honest, Kevin was on a good run to get a podium here, but we'll have to wait and see how this works out, and if Brand is able to pull away. But now with Oli on softs and the rest behind on fresher tires and softer tires, I don't know if Kevin is going to be able to hold on that position.
Yeah, maybe that was a strategy for Matthew to just tell, you know, between tier admins, you know, Brand, you know, park the bus. You know, they are very close friends, so I don't know, maybe that could be a good strat to do to try and help Matthew. But Matthew
doesn't have DRS. Matthew, sorry.
Yeah,
Matthew doesn't have
DRS. I was
DRS.
say, you don't have DRS. Nino does. Will Nino now go for the dive? Matthew is in a lot of pain.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Matthew protects the inside. I think Nino's gonna wait to have to run. They're still side by side. Matthew pushes him a little bit wide, but I think Nino's gonna try it. Again, down the inside, I think he's going to go. No, he doesn't. I think he's going to go for the traction. But right now, it's Matthew who holds on P2.
This is what we've been wanting. Finally, someone challenging Matthew. You know, someone finally bringing a fight to him. Oh, look, Santi Marquez round the outside of Nino. Nino gives him a cut. Kevin Harrison.
Kevin.
3 seconds. He gets 3 seconds, so his chance for a win is out of the window. If I was him, let Ollie through and let Holly have a bit of glory. As there's a Mercedes round, is that Edward? It is. Edward is out. Will this cause a temporarily safety car? If this did, it would cause chaos.
No, it's 3 laps off. I don't believe it's going to cause it. It would be amazing though, but I don't think, no safety car. Back to green.
Well, back to board with Nino then, as we're watching him now lose a bit of time out of Matthew. But he's in a bit of trouble with Santo Martin.
And one thing we haven't spotted is that Oli could also get a good result here. Maybe not a podium, but a P4 or P5. As we can see now, the Red Bull trying to attack Nino. I see he's lacking a lot of ERS, but it's the Red Bull as well who's missing on ERS.
Oh god, he is diving. He spun Nino.
That was a stupid move.
Oh my god. Nino is going to be angry in that helmet.
He's going to be furious. He's going to try it again, yeah.
He's switching. He's fucking. Yep. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God,
no.
Nino.
Oh no. Why do I wait? Why does this remind me of Nino and Pedro season 7 where he got banned? Please don't get yourself banned, because God.
Oh, he has damage, I believe.
Yeah, that's his own fault. He shouldn't have dived it. But now that's just cost a fight for seconds. So Matthew could get a second place at the moment if he is lucky. But look at Alfie in the lead right now, 1.2 seconds. He's just cruising along. Matthew's trying to come back at him. Maybe the hards are now starting to even out compared to the mediums, but it looks like Alfie could take the win in today's race. Currently gap now 1.3 seconds, lap 33 out of 35, 2 laps after this remaining. Will Bugatti win this race?
Nino defending round the outside. He's still side by side with Brad. Brad holds on, but will Nino dive in?
I think he's going to retire. He might go for fast lap. He's going to retire. He's going to go for fast lap. I will.
None of those. I think he's going to try and hold on. It's what he has remained. I mean, the only thing he has left. As we can see, Nino pulling off.
He got there a few times.
Will he try to dive on Brad?
I don't know, because Rocco's going for him, and yeah, I can just tell.
No, but he was close enough.
I don't know, yeah, Rocco was there as well, as Lewis Curtis now into 10th place, so he's going to get points, it looks like. But here comes
teammates
Rocco
in FP, rivals on track right now.
Will Williams hold it? Team rivals before, Williams being Ferrari, and they hold it. Good overtake there, Nino coming back at him probably, trying to send it, no, can't. He's just doing a defensive driving style. As I get another notification, I do apologise for this, as the race point now of Oliver Favell now on race point of Oliver Favell, race point of Kevin Harrison, getting challenged by Oliver Favell in the McLaren in 8th place, looking for points, looking for a good result. If he doesn't get a penalty, this could easily end in tears. And I've got to say, Paco, penalties could have helped Ollie a bit earlier on if he didn't make that second stop, if he decided to go on another set of wheels. Exactly.
It's what I meant, that I couldn't understand why he pitted. As we can see now, Kevin going around the outside on Nino, and yeah, Nino is just sitting TKing on track. I mean, I feel bad for him, because to be honest, that Red Bull ruined his race. It's true that he couldn't keep his nerves off, you know, and he just sent it, causing himself to have damage. But to be honest, that move by the Red Bull was completely retarded. And what's sad, because the race is not done. We're on the final lap. But look at that, Matthew back on the DRS.
He's using DRS. He wants to win. He wants to win on track. He now realises he has a chance to do it. He knows he can pressure Bugatti. But Matthew, I think your time and your streak is up. There isn't enough time. We're on the final lap of the race. Will the champion, the 4-time champion, be able to pull something out of the bag? Will he surprise us yet again with another win? As we can see, a Renault going slowly. And that's Lewis Curtis. Lewis Curtis and Sandra Sorrell fighting through the fast left. And Oliver Favell now fighting with Nino. Nino's pocketing a bus right now, Paco.
Yeah, what's up, because Luis, after all, might get P4. Well, not P4, but P5. Or P6, sorry. So yeah, not bad race after all. I mean, he bottled, to be honest. But yeah, not bad at all.
As we now move on to the race leader, it is Alfie in first place. No. He had a bit of
no tires left.
There's no tires left for Nino, as there's a fight for on. We are going to miss that. However, Alfie then is going to take the final corner. He has destroyed Matthew's streak. He has made him washed. Alfie takes the win on track and takes first. Matthew takes second. Santiago takes third. Brandon in fourth. There's a DNF. Ollie's out. Ollie's binned it. Brandon takes fourth. Kevin fifth. Rocco Walsh in 6th, Lewis Curtis 7th, Norman 8th, Will Saunders take 9th, he does, and I believe Freddie just jumped them all to go 7th place, as Saunders Sohag rounds up in 10th position. Got to say, I mean, a great race. Drive the day is near now. I don't believe he is the drive of the day, to be honest.
I mean, he started at the back.
Oh, yeah, to be honest. Yeah, that is true. Well then, here is the podium celebrations. It is Alfie then who takes first place, and the first person to beat Matthew Oda. It looked like it was going to be Lewis, who looked favourite, but Alfie then takes the win, and Matthew Oda gets destroyed, but he holds second place and keeps his championship intact. And third place is Santeri Martikayan, who possibly would get a penalty. Now, I don't know about Alfie and Matthew's incident, it was just a nudge, so I don't know if that will get reported, but to be honest, Lewis might even report Matthew's safety car shenanigans. As now we go through the race results. And here comes Alfie then. Takes the win and destroys Matthew's streak in second, but unlucky there for Matthew as well. He had the chance. He decided to stay out. If I was him, I would have pitted, because Santi Montecane wasn't that far off, even though he made that pit stop. Brandon in 4th, Kevin in 5th, Rocco in 6th, Lewis Curtis in 7th. 8th is Fleddy, Nino Romanella in 9th, Sandra Sohag in 10th. Oliver Favell, the biggest ball of the race today. He shouldn't have pit. He could have easily got a podium or even the win in today's race. Edward, unfortunately, DNF'd. He does classify though 4 laps down in 12th, but then Lordy and Lewis Fossman and Lee Kelly all DNF from today's race, and I guarantee the incident from 13th to 14th place, Lewis and Lordy will be investigated by the stewards. Same with the safety car shenanigans, and Alfie and Matthew and Santeri Martikayan and Nino Romanella will be investigated. However, though, we will now get ready for the podium interviews. If Paco, you can invite the top 3.
Yeah, which is... I'm on that. Yeah, right now.
Good lad. Well then, it's been a very amazing race, and it's been actually very favourite to watch. I didn't do comms last season at Hungary because it was boring on the 11 car grid. You know, I should have done it. You know, as today, it's just proven Matthew is not unstoppable. Alfie did it. And I've got to give credit for all the drivers in the race today. Great racing, great action, a lot of intense fights. Bit of dodgy overtakes, but a good race indeed, as Mr. Pug Swallows is inviting him. And what do you need, Mr. Swallows?
What's the third driver ID, PSN?
Santana Motokayan, that is, if I can, he's not even on the lobby anymore.
IFR.
IFR Santeri, IFR underscore Santeri, so IFR underscore SANTEI.
Yeah.
That's it. And then as soon as you can invite them top 3, and we'll go over the interviews.
Yeah, I'm on that. Okay. Yeah, I've added them, so yeah, it's a matter of time that they join the party. But I have to say, I was happy with the race until I realized how much work we're gonna have in Steelworth. So yeah. Let's see when they join. I have to say, Ollie was on a really good run for a good position, and the way he bottled. Oh my god! I mean, I don't know what he did, or if he was crashed or something, but that was a big bottle if it was his mistake. But yeah, some drivers have joined, so because yeah, everyone has joined.
All of them have joined then, so we have got a full interview booth then, and I will just because it's domain, and then we'll go on board with the interviews, and we will start off with the race winner. Well then, Alfie, I've just got to make sure your mic is on, always allowed to be shared in the party sense.
Oh, hold on, let me check. Yeah, it's on.
Well then, I've got to say congratulations on your win today. You did a very good race. Me and Paco actually didn't think you could have even got a chance for the win, but that safety car in the end really played out. And I'm going to say, how do you feel your race went with fighting with Matthew and Lewis Curtis for that win?
Yeah, it was exciting, but I thought my race was over because I lost Lewis, and I was just trying to stay with him, but he came out in front of the hard runners and I was behind a few, but that second safety car really, you know, threw a spanner in the works, and then Lewis bottled the safety car restart, so it was me versus Matthew, and luckily he got a penalty, and you know, I managed to make the move and get the win. But yeah, my heart was going the last few laps. It was really intense.
Yeah, it was intense, especially with a bit of contact between turn 2, but I think a bit of rubbing his racing, to be honest, because it was a very good move, because Matthew as well was pushing a couple of people off the track, but it was a great race, you know, both Titans fighting for the position. But speaking about that second safety car restart, do you think Matthew did that safety car restart within the correct parameters, or do you feel it was a bit harsh and it cost Lewis a lot of positions with the fight in the end, because you and Nino had a very good run on that start?
Well, I mean, it's Matthew's decision when to go, and obviously the closer you get to the line, the less time you have to play with, and when we got really close to the line, I think Lewis tried to predict the start and got alongside, but people, you know, obviously Matthew on the hards wants to keep all the temp in his tyres, so was weaving, and I think maybe just caught Lewis and sent him onto the grass a little bit, but I don't think Matthew done anything wrong. I think Lewis was a bit too optimistic maybe, but yeah, so I think it was fine, but yeah, it was a bit lucky.
I wouldn't say luck. I think skill more like, but we've got to say you've had a very good race. You know, I think this is your third round or second round in IRL, and you've got a win. So, well, I'll ask you the final question. Unless Paco, you've got a quick question to ask him before I ask him about that.
I have one question. Well, actually, I have two quick questions. The first one, how did it feel? The move you did on Matthew, because I don't know if Matthew would have reported it, because to be honest, you gave a little tap on the rear of Matthew. To be honest, for me, it was fine. You know, you had to do it. You had to make that overtake work. But did you feel it was a harsh move on Matthew, or do you feel like it was clean enough and it just worked out perfectly?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, as Jared said before, Robin is racing, so I'll take the moves. But yeah, obviously, I tried to move into turn 1. That was really close. I got squeezed right to the inside, so I think, you know, it was fair enough.
Yeah, and just my final question before Jared asks you about next round. Matthew made I would say bold objective at the start of the season, quite arrogant, saying that he would like to win all of the races, win 11 out of 11. How does it feel to have broken that chance, of Matthew getting all the wins and actually be the first driver to be able to beat him on this season?
Well, I mean, I didn't know he said that, but yeah, it feels good now to stop him. But what Matthew wants to do is what Matthew wants to do. A shame I wasn't here for the start of the season because I think maybe could have put a bit of a title challenge in. But yeah, I think it's good that he didn't win every race. It'd be a bit boring.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. So yeah, Jared, if you want to ask your final question.
I will, and I hope next season in the new game you can give him a little challenge because he'll be nerfed. But all jokes aside, well, then the next round is Baku. That's my little ball of the day. How do you feel? How do you feel you're going to do there? Then do you think you could get another victory, another podium, or just points on the cards if you're able to race? Because I believe you still are a reserve.
Well, I start. Actually, I got a full-time seat, so I'm in the AlphaTauri every week now. But well, I actually haven't done this track in ages before qualifying, so I haven't really done any practice. So I mean, if I can practice a bit for Baku and actually, become a bit familiar with the track, then hopefully I can challenge for the win. But in previous league races, Baku hasn't been my best track, so maybe a top 5 would probably be my aim.
Okay then, well, hopefully you can get another good result in Baku then, and maybe a bit more practice. Matthew can get a bit more worried for his title chance, because there's still a chance for the title in your end. But I've got to say, congratulations on the victory, and finally Matthew's streak has been beaten. And hopefully you have another good result next round. Well then, second place is Matthew Order. Paco, do you want to start, or do you want to do the last guy?
All right, I'll start with Matthew. So yeah, Matthew, you got defeated. You got what you deserved. Now, jokes aside, how did it feel to be beaten by Alfie? I mean, when it seemed like you could have gotten like everything under control, how does that P2 feel?
Well, it's annoying, obviously. I think I was the fastest today, but the safety cars obviously ruined that for me. But yeah, he had a good race, obviously, and obviously I picked up a penalty, and he also picked up one, but he did the better strategy in the end. So yeah, but obviously I would like to win, but that's just what happens, isn't it? So.
Were you probably you were, but were you in a party with Luis?
Yeah.
How did he react to the restart?
He shouted my name, but I didn't do anything wrong. It was his fault if he goes alongside me when I'm clearly the leader. So if he tries to predict it and makes the prediction wrong, then it's not my fault. So.
Do you think that? I mean, this is sort of a related question. Do you think that without the safety car, he would have gotten the win? I mean, he would have been able to catch you and then to pull away by 3 seconds? Or do you think that without the safety car, you would have gotten the win anyways?
Well, there's a lot of factors in that which make it impossible to know, but he would have definitely caught me, but I don't 100% think he would have been able to pass me, and the hards probably would have came back at the end like they were doing in that race at the end there as I was catching Alfie back up. But and a penalty as well. If I didn't have the safety car, maybe I wouldn't have gone a penalty, and if I did, Lewis probably would have won because I don't think it was too hard to pass me. But yeah, it all depends on the penalty whether that would have played out, but I certainly think it would have been a 1-2 without the safety car.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree. And yeah, my final question before Jared asks any other question he has. How do you feel on the move that Alfie did on you? Do you think it was fair, or are you gonna try and report it?
I'm not gonna report it, but I think it was over-aggressive personally. It did hit me out of the way, but it's not like it's penalty worthy, so there isn't a point of reporting it.
All right then. Then I'll let Jared ask you any other question he has.
Well, I've got to say the goat's just been slain, but no, I've got to give you credit. You know, you were on those hard tyres. You got second place in the end, and you know you were actually the quickest guy there. You were catching Lewis quite quickly. But
I was
you know,
never behind Lewis.
well, you were behind Lewis on the pit stop, so you were behind Lewis. But as I was saying, when you were catching him as in the pit scenario, did you feel then, you know, the victory's yours? I know you didn't get the victory in the end, but did you feel that you had the pace, if that second safety car didn't come into play, that you would have won easily? Or do you feel that Lewis could have caught you in the end?
Well, that's basically a copy of Paco's question already, but...
Listen, you have to listen, right? I mean...
I've got to test him.
I thought Lewis would come out further behind me, so I guess before he came out, I thought I would have to win, especially without... I mean, I got my second warning, like the lap after the first safety car came in, so I had been driving around for 20 laps already without getting one, so I thought I would have to win. But unfortunately, people don't seem to know how to keep it clean behind me, so the second safety car came out.
Wow, very strong words there. But well, I'll let Paco ask the final question. But congratulations on your second. Unfortunately, it wasn't a win. Your streak can continue. But well, Paco, finish away with Matthew.
Yeah, well, next round is Azerbaijan. How do you feel that you're gonna do in there? I mean, will you get the win, or do you think you're gonna struggle?
Well, I'll be going into it with doing enough of Baku this week already because I'm doing a race there tomorrow. But it all depends on how I think in that race that I have tomorrow goes. If I hit a wall in that one, then I don't think I'll have any confidence going to IRL, and I'll probably hit the wall again. Like, just that second to last corner is just impossible for me to stay consistent at over the entire race. So I'll probably just get wing damage there.
Let's hope that you get it from wing damage. I mean, let's hope you can do well on that race. So, I mean, after all, congratulations on your P2. I mean, that drive with the Hutch was impressive, I have to say. And good luck on Azerbaijan.
Thank you.
Okay then, Yara, do you want to start with the last driver? I mean, Santry?
Yeah, sure. Well then, Santry once again, congratulations on a podium there, third place. You know, it missed out in Russia when you were fighting Matthew and Lewis. But you get a podium there. It might have been a little bit controversial with you and Nino with the contact into turn one. But if you could let us know, how did you feel the race went in your point of view? Do you think it went good, or do you feel that it went a bit bad? You could have had the win today.
Yeah, thank you. It was really interesting race with 2 safety cars and many penalties. So I don't know. That feels really good, but I don't know. I got a penalty for no reason, so yeah.
Well, that is a shame that you got that penalty there, and you were looking. You had some amazing pace on those mediums. You were literally just doing a Perez in Bahrain, to be honest. But with you in the contact with Nino, as we will elaborate on that, did you feel that it was completely your fault? You misjudged the brake and just hit him and spun him round, or do you feel, you know, he moved a bit too late, or did you think your dive bomb was too late? What's your case on that?
Yeah, I don't think. I think it was mine and his fault, but I had to overtake him to get good result. So.
Okay then. Well, before I ask the final question for the next round, I'll ask Paco if you've got any quick questions to ask Matke.
To be honest, I don't really have. I mean, I was about to ask about Nino's incident, but yeah, you already did. So
well, if you want
you can go on.
If you want to ask the final question.
All right then. Yeah. How do you feel that you'll do in Azerbaijan, and do you think you can repeat podium in there?
My base is really strong here, so I don't know. Maybe we are going to get a podium or win.
Hopefully you'll be able to get a good result. So yeah, congratulations on your P3 and good luck next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay then, Jared, time to finish the stream, I guess.
I will, and thank you, Santa Martin. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Right, I'm back. Sorry, someone's just shouting me. Well, yeah, we'll do the closing down procedure then. It's been a very excellent race, but before we do go, me and Paco, driver of the day, who do you think deserved the driver of the day today?
To be honest, Alfie. I mean, Matthew did an awesome stint in the Hearts, but Alfie, none of us put him in our top 4, so it came out of the blue, you know, his win. Which shows that he can be up there and that he has really good race pace. So for me, he's my driver of the day and really, really deserved.
Yeah, I've got to agree. You know, he's stopped Matthew Street, and you know, but I've got to give Nino. You know, a little bit of Nino. You know, he had the pace, started at the back, maybe with the controversy near the end where he had a bit of, you know, crashes, but you know, it just happens like that. So I've got to give it to Bugatti. You know, he deserves it. So, well, I think that's the best race we've commentated together in IRL F1. It's been the best race we've seen in IRL F1 history, I believe. But it's time to call it a day. This has been International Racing League. I've been your commentator, IRL Neon. I've been joined by Mr. Paco Suarez. This has been IRL F1. It's 4:30, no longer at 6. If you want to see more F1 content, join us next Saturday at 4:30 again. But if you want to see some FP content, join us on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. But if you want to see some legendary F2 and F3 pace, join us tomorrow, 4:30 UK time. And let's see who can get another win and who can take a good result at those rounds. But best thing I would ask, have a nice day and see you guys next time. Goodbye.